So I think that when you have a team and your team is new, and I think that this is really true, whether it's a new team member or the team is newly remote or newly hybrid, and there's so many teams that are remote. My team is fully remote. We're from Washington, D.C., all the way to Arizona. So we're spread out across time zones and everything. And I think sometimes what organizations miss is that you have to have time alone to just build relationships and to get to know one another. And you have to have time doing nothing, right? If all your time together as a team is spent on work, on projects, you're not really finding out who that person is as a human being. And that's what really creates that kind of belonging, trust, inclusive environment, is finding out who your team members are as human beings and as people. And so our weekly meeting that we have at the end of the week, that just is like our team wrap up, there's no agenda. We don't talk about work unless there's something like, if someone has a question or if someone has a particular like obstacle they've run into in the last day or so, we have space for it, but we keep space for nothing, right? And we talk about what are our weekend plans, or we've talked about our shared nerd passion for the show Firefly and the movie Serenity. And, we share like fandom things, or, we share interests that we have. And my son comes walking in, and, my one teammate's dog is always in the shot. And so we get to know each other's houses, each other's families, each other's likes and dislikes. And I think that it's just really important so that we can then work together, learn together. It builds that trust. Yeah, I think that you have to bring as much data as you possibly can with you. And what's nice with, organizations is that a lot of times we may not do a great job of pulling together our own L&D data, right? Like, and a lot of times we don't have access to really great data in L&D. Like, we have like completions from our LMS, right? But there's data throughout the rest of the organization, right, that we can draw from. And if you can say, this is the gap that we found, right? Like, let's say, for instance, that gap is we're not retaining salespeople, and we need a community of practice because they don't know how to talk about our products. And so they keep getting frustrated. Customers keep getting angry with them, and they just keep quitting and leaving and going to our competitors and selling for them instead. And those are numbers that you can pull, right? Those sales numbers, those retention numbers, those are different numbers that you can pull and take to someone like the CFO. So one of my suggestions would be like, look outside of just the learning and development numbers and statistics, because those numbers exist in other departments and in other areas. You just have to kind of dig around and find them.